James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound, Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
This is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Talking About Balls is back. AFC Championship, NFC Championship in the rear view. There's one game left in the NFL. Luka Doncic had a great game. Coaches hiring, coaches firing. No, nobody's firing a coach. My bad. They did before. Dan Campbell talking, Jim Harbaugh talking, everything. We got a mock draft coming your way. Super Bowl preview. The exhilarating Pro Bowl is back for another year, which is amazing
Bring back the
to see.
old Pro Bowl. Dude, 2014 to 2018 Pro Bowl was majestic.
So, let's
When
start
they had
off.
legends draft their own teams.
Yeah,
That was
that
so
was fun.
cool.
Let's start off with the AFC Championship
But now
game.
the NFL's in shambles.
All right.
It's in Taylor Swift's hands.
Oh my God. The AFC Championship game, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens. Chiefs won 17-10. Wayne's Ravens are out. This was a different year, I felt like, for the Ravens. And again, I was wrong. Kind of like the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Their running backs had 6 carries in the game.
Yeah, that's no, okay. That's what really pissed me off.
Gus Edwards,
Every
3
time I
carries.
look at the TV, we're passing, and I'm like, why are we doing that? We ran the ball efficiently all year. That's how we scored
Number
half
one
of the
running
time.
team in the league.
Why are we going and passing? You see that our leading wide receiver going into half was almost Lamar. Actually, yeah, I think it was
Leading
Lamar.
Leading receiver at half.
Why did we go away from the run? It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's all I have to say.
They ran the ball 16 times. Lamar ran it 8 times. Zay Flowers got 2 carries. Gus Edwards 3 carries. Justice
running
Hill 3
jet
carries.
sweeps. What the hell are we doing?
Gus-
We need Jamison Williams to run our jet sweeps, not Zay Flowers.
Gus Edwards with the 3 carries. I'm shocked because the Ravens' last couple of playoffs have always been the underperformers, and now, I'm
They've
not.
also been shit every playoff game.
That's what I just said.
So, dude, you see Lamar 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and like a 2-4 record in playoffs.
Yeah, he's starting to get.
3-4, 3-3.
He's starting to get to that Dak Prescott territory. I'm not playing well in the playoffs, but I mean, let's not discredit. Against the Texans, he was great.
Hey, I'm Lamar. Come down to Baltimore Chevy Buick Encore and buy yourself a brand new Chevy Silverado 2500.
But Kansas City, again, this was more the same. This was no different than the Miami game, no different than the Buffalo game. They just turned it on. Patrick Mahomes threw the ball a lot, but, I mean, they had a lot of plays, right? So when you have 75 plays and you throw the ball 40 times, it's not really throwing the ball that much. They ran the ball 32 times, dominated time of possession. Hey, credit to the Ravens defense. They played great, especially second half. They didn't allow Kansas City a single point in the second half.
Too bad we couldn't score. And Zay Flowers. Hold on to the fucking ball, please.
That
Even, I'm fine with you reaching, but actually, no, I wasn't, because by the time you reached, you were only halfway there, and then L'Jarius Sneed hit it. Just go down. We're down at the 1. We could have ran it in.
Obviously, yeah.
It just pisses me off. And then
Yeah.
that taunting call. Oh my God.
That was clear as day taunting, by the way. That was so obviously taunting. Are you mad that he taunted, or are you mad that the ref called it a taunt?
I'm mad that he taunted.
Yeah, because he.
I get it. Push the guy off of you, but don't stand over him and flex on him. All you did was catch a slant. Stop.
What are you talking about?
Oh no.
He
It was
taunted
when
on the
was-
big 60-yard catch.
Yeah, that was off of a slant.
Still
Or-
60. It was not off a slant at all. It was a big 40-yard play.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway,
It just pisses me off.
Kansas City defensively, man, were they great against Lamar Jackson. He dropped back a lot of times, and it wasn't really like, hey, I'd understand if you're losing and it's classic Kansas City. They're going to throw the ball. They're going to score a lot of points. That really wasn't the case. They didn't score a lot. Baltimore, good defense. Lamar threw the ball 37 times compared to running back 6 carries. So they put the ball in Lamar Jackson's hands 45 times, and it didn't work out. I'll use an analogy here. In the NBA, you hero ball. In the NFL and the NBA, one player taking over. And in the NBA, since 2000, the leading scorer has not won a championship. In the NBA, the NBA's leading scorer has not won a title. So, hero ball doesn't work in the NBA. It doesn't work in the NFL as well. We've seen it down the stretch. You have to have a good running game and good defense, and throwing the ball 50 times usually doesn't win you games. And the Baltimore Ravens threw the ball 37 times. They didn't have the ball for much. They played good defense all day against Kansas City. Travis Kelce stepped it up in the big moments like he does. Mahomes was efficient as could be. The thing with Mahomes, doesn't get sacked, doesn't throw interceptions. It's really tough to get good play or turnovers off of Kansas City. Your thoughts on this game?
I'm just pissed off. And then also, after we see Mahomes scramble for like 3 times in like the first quarter, we decide, we're just not going to QB spy either.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep rushing 4 or 5 and then drop back everybody in man coverage. And
I think it's more about keeping Mahomes contained in the pocket.
our DNs were way too slow for that.
And
then whenever we
he only had 15 yards, so it's not like you really need a QB spy.
No, but he got him in big positions.
Yeah.
It'd be on third down and 5, and he ends up getting 6, 7, and it's
that one play on the Mahomes scramble and sitting back for 4 or 5 seconds, and then it was 9.7 seconds.
Yeah,
that one play on the third down, turning around, Kelce dives for it on a great play. The whole day, Niners game, Chiefs game, weird.
Oh yeah,
crazy
the Lions.
plays.
Oh my God, I know we're gonna get into that soon, but
crazy plays all over. Lamar Jackson catching it.
Catching his own pass. I thought it was going to get intercepted. I was like, wow, that ball's in the air for 5 seconds. I'm looking at my TV. I'm like,
pick.
Oh, there it's dropping. Oh, Lamar got. Who is that? Who is that just caught the. That's Lamar?
The Brandon Ayuk.
Lamar has to put everybody on his back.
The Brandon Ayuk tough catch. By the way, hey.
Off of the face. Dude, that's what ended up killing the Lions' momentum. After that, they were just nothing.
By the way, great throw from Brock Purdy to understand that the defender is not going to...
To understand that the calculations of the ball dropping off of his helmet for Brandon Ayuk to catch it, oh my God.
That's just why he's one of the best quarterbacks
He's a
in the
great
league.
game manager. He's a really good game manager. Who said that? Stephen A. Smith? I forget.
Is he not?
No.
Brock Purdy's game manager.
Yeah, but he's a good game manager.
Yeah, he wins games. That's all you got to ask.
I forget who said it. Who said he was a game manager?
Everybody
Shoot.
and their mother.
And then
Me?
Fred Warner's like, he's a great game manager. He's really good at winning these games.
Yeah, who he is, but whatever.
Please win the Super Bowl, Brock. You're our last hope. Please,
No.
please.
I don't know how, I don't know if NFL fans don't like fun, but I don't know how you don't watch Mahomes and you're like, man, this guy rocks.
I think everybody hates him the same way everybody hated Tom Brady. When he was just appearing in Super Bowls every year.
They hate him because they hate him. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really all it comes down to. I have no problem with Kansas City. We'll get into that whole thing. The difference is...
I just hate him because of Taylor Swift.
The difference...
It's like, ugh. Every touchdown, it's showing Taylor Swift for like 5 minutes. Like, you didn't do anything.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'll go off with a little bit of a rant here, tell you why you are wrong. The numbers are out from when they've shown Taylor Swift in a game. Take a guess how long she was shown over the course of 3.5 hours.
10 minutes?
32 seconds. 32 seconds. Okay? And you know why? It's more than usual. It's usually around 15 seconds. The Grammys are whenever on CBS this week.
I don't know. Don't care either.
So, why wouldn't CBS promote the biggest music star in the world on their Grammys network, right? And this... Look, it's a 3.5 hour game. There's I saw this from Colin Coward, about 18 minutes of action from when the play starts to the play ends. They have to fill up that time. You're not just watching an NFL game to watch an NFL game. There's the extracurriculars. There's the commercials. There's the different fans. So from when the play starts to when the play ends, a couple of seconds, there's 30 other seconds. They got to fill up the TV. Okay? And the people that hate Taylor Swift or don't want to talk about it are talking about it the most. Look, I'm no big Swiftie guy, right? I don't care. A lot of other people say they don't care, but then complain about Taylor Swift, making it way bigger than it needs to be. It's not a big deal, and that's what people are saying. Oh, it's not a big deal. So stop talking about it. The people that don't think it's a big deal are the people that is talking about it the most. Mahomes is exciting. The Chiefs are exciting. I loved Kansas. I don't love Kansas City, but they're a very good team. Mahomes makes this easy. I think Patrick Mahomes is the most fun player in NFL history on just terms how out of this world he is, and I know I'm glazing a little bit, but it's true. Hey, and we got to redefine glazing for a little bit. If Mahomes makes a great play and they glaze him, that's not glazing. But if he makes an okay play and they're going out of their mind, that's glazing. But Taylor Swift and the Chiefs
All right, zip up his pants when you're done.
should not bother anybody. Anybody. I get maybe at the end of the game a little bit excessive when they're on the field, but like 32 seconds, man. Like, what do you care? Do you care when they show a random fan holding up a sign for 10 seconds? Nobody cares. So what? Stop talking about it. And I know people won't. Oh, we got Brock Purdy. Come on, let's go Niners. Blah 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 blah. Yidip. Let's watch football. And they all say, "Hey, I want to watch football." So stop talking about it. Stop bringing it up. Okay? I'm pissed off. Anyway, Kansas City, dread it, run from it. Destiny all arrives the same. The Kansas City Chiefs, how do you beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Because it comes down to, Wayne, in these big moments, you can run down the list. You can ask, who's the better coach? Blah, 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 blah. Who's got more weapons? And then that last question, do you have Patrick Mahomes on your team? And if the answer is no, and it's the playoffs, you ain't winning. What is your thoughts from this Kansas City team that was middling their way through the entire regular season to now in the playoffs, 19-point win against Miami, win against Buffalo, win against Baltimore, 2 of them on the road, and they're headed back to the Super Bowl?
I need to know their secret. Like, you were such a mediocre team during the regular season.
I don't know about mediocre. They were fine.
They looked mediocre.
The great ones.
The 3 games that I saw them play, they were mediocre.
The great ones turn it on. The great ones.
What do you mean by that?
The great ones.
They're gonna turn what on?
The great ones know what time it is and start to play. All the problems for Kansas City. Mahomes is missing receivers. They're getting 3 points instead of 7. They can't catch the football. Pooh. Away. MVS to go to the Super Bowl. 3rd and 10. Ravens might get the football back. Andy Reid. Drop problems all year. What am I going to do? Throw it 45 yards down the field. MVS makes a catch. Kelsey ain't dropping anything. They're back to this vintage Mahomes-Kelsey combo that was really lacking in the regular season. They felt like they were kind of stuck. They're back. They're scoring, although they kind of got, in the second half, really shut out. But they didn't have to really score. There's a difference there. I think if they needed to score, they probably could have, but they really didn't have to. Baltimore, it's a total collapse.
Oh, we're shit.
They need to get a true number 1. Which Zay Flowers will be a number 1 next year. He'll be great, but they need to fill in the pieces outside.
We need to fill in corners.
I guess.
We run a decent amount of man coverage. Actually, like most of the time we run man coverage. It's rare we run zone. But we run man coverage a lot. And Geno Stone, yeah, that's his name. Yeah. It was like Trayvon Diggs last year. He was just getting picks because he was in the right place at the right time. But like when you actually look at us play man, half of our corners are getting burnt almost every single play. And it's because we have a decent D-line, well, a really good D-line actually, during the regular season that they weren't scoring on us that much. We had our D-line to compensate for our bad corners. When it came to the postseason, that was a little bit of a different story.
I still think
we weren't getting as much pressure. Our corners weren't. They were better than the regular season, but it wasn't.
They got pressure. It's just Mahomes has been sacked. I don't know how many times. I think he got sacked once in the game, but he has not been sacked in the playoffs since last year's AFC Championship game. So it's really tough against a great offensive line to sack him. But I mean, they played a great game. Kansas City. They only allowed 17. In the NFL, if you allow 17, you expect to win games. The offense couldn't get anything going, and I think I'm more on the edge of credit Chiefs defense more than blame Ravens offense.
No, it was definitely more of a blame Ravens offense.
Because I think the Chiefs defense was great. I think we got to start talking about. We have to start talking about Kansas City and how great they are at drafting. I think they are by far and away the best drafting team in the NFL. I don't think it's close. First off, quarterback, best player in the NFL, top 5 quarterback ever. Mahomes, pick 10.
Didn't they trade with the Bills for him?
I think or something like that. Who'd they get in
Yeah,
the
because that was something I ended up seeing.
Who'd they get in the 7th round last year? Isaiah Pacheco, who's been 1,000-yard back last year, almost 1,000 this year. They've built up the core. They've drafted Travis Kelce a while ago. Rashee Rice, 4th-round pick, star. Offensive line, Trey Smith, 6th-round pick out of Tennessee, star. Creed Humphrey.
Ugh,
No, he's great.
I hate him.
He is all-pro, amazing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Taunt as much as he want, no penalty.
Creed Humphrey, center, 2nd-round pick, Oklahoma. Best center in the league. Maybe Frank Ragnow. Defensively, L'Jarius Sneed, 4th-round pick, top 5 corner.
Trent
McDuffie.
He's even got up there. Last year wasn't as
Tre-
good, but then again, he's a rookie. What do you expect? This
Trent-
year he became a lot better.
Trent McDuffie, top 5 corner, 1st-round pick. They've just built this team. Chris Jones from a while ago. They've just built this team phenomenally, and the way they're drafting has to be studied because they have just been incredibly built. And of course, they've made the pieces where, of course, you got to get some guys in free agency. Joe Tooney was all pro, MVS, the different type of guys. And this was kind of like a rebuilding year for Kansas City. Like, we don't really have a number one weapon. Of course, they won the Super Bowl, but like they, Chris Jones, there was questions. He sat out the beginning of the regular season. Right back in the Super Bowl. And I think we've all learned our lesson. It's this little SpongeBob. How many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man? And that's what it is with Kansas City. We're down on them. But when it comes time for February, they are in. Look, I think we're going to see this coming up in the offseason. Teams become desperate in the AFC. They understand.
Yeah, the AFC, I feel like, is going to really ramp up during the free agency and trades because they realize that there's a lot of good teams in the AFC, and you need a really decent team to.
Wow, you have to have a good team.
Just completely lost what I was going
You
to say.
have to have a
All
good
right,
team to
continue,
be good,
continue,
wow.
continue.
I think Kansas City, in terms of success, is head and shoulders above everybody else. Even if you're a team like Cincinnati, who's had success against Kansas City, you probably have to make a move or two. You can't just run the same team back. Baltimore. Basically, everybody who's not Kansas City has to get better because Kansas City has made the Super Bowl four of the last 5 years, right? And if you're looking at the AFC as a whole, say the AFC is their whole NFL, the Chiefs have won 4 AFC championships in 5 years. They have won the conference 4 times. So the other 15 teams, besides Cincinnati, have had no shot to even sniff it. And I think we're going to see a lot of that in the AFC. I'm glad the Vikings are in the NFC because it's a shaky conference. San Francisco's a juggernaut, but doesn't have the historic success that Kansas City's got. And watch out for the Chiefs to be like, if they win the Super Bowl, they have 4 Super Bowls. Like, they're up there. If they can get a couple more, they could easily take over the Steelers, take over the Patriots. The other game, the Lions and the 49ers. I saw a funny thing. Dan Campbell's the type of guy. Dan Campbell's the type of guy to have 20 on blackjack and say, "Hit me." That's Dan Campbell. He's aggressive.
He's that guy to have 21 say, hit me.
He's aggressive. He's been aggressive. He'll always be aggressive.
His aggressiveness is what got them there.
Yeah.
In the first place. Everybody's going to blame his aggressiveness. Yeah, in the situation you think, yeah, you should go for the field goal, but you get the touchdown, and that is a lot better momentum.
At the end of the game?
A lot better of a momentum killer to the 49ers.
You talk about the end of the game.
Well, no, with 9 minutes
Oh,
left. It was
okay.
4th and something, and Jared Goff rolls out, and he threw it.
Oh, Josh
he threw
Reynolds.
it too low,
Josh
and then
Reynolds.
Amon-Ra ended up diving but couldn't get to
It
it.
was Amon-Ra. I thought it was Josh Reynolds. Okay.
And then Josh Reynolds, yeah, he missed
Yeah.
some very crucial passes. In the postseason, they were throwing to Josh Reynolds a lot more in the first 2 games. And I think he was trying to say to Jared Goff that you don't have to throw to Amon-Ra or Sam Laporta. He's a valuable weapon that you could throw to. And then he ended up just fumbling it. And in that NFC Championship game, it was like, yikes.
I just find it funny that if this was Dallas or if this was Green Bay or if this was a team that has some notoriety, that they would be clowned on like none other. But we treat the Detroit Lions like a Make-A-Wish kid. And, it's okay. It's the lovable Lions. They blew a 17-point lead in the NFC Championship.
Also, their first NFC Championship in how long?
Ever.
Yeah,
Or-
exactly.
Okay? I don't care that it's their first ever. They still blew a 17-point lead. All right, I'm not going to come on here and say the Lions had a failure of a season. That's anything but the truth. but they deserve some slander from blowing a 17-point lead. And I think Dan Campbell, it's okay to be aggressive when you're losing or when you're tied, but when you're leading, let's lean up more on the conservative side. Let's value points when you're leading. Right, when you're up 17 or how many ever it is, getting a lead and protecting it is much better than trying to just outscore your opponent the rest of the way. Let's get our lead. We have a 17-point lead. Let's play defense. Let's score a couple of times. Let's walk out of here. We don't need to score 3 touchdowns to end the game. Just play defense and walk out of there with the win. Detroit, my big pet peeve, it was 3rd and goal. There's about a minute left in the game. The Lions have 3 timeouts. I think it was Ben Johnson. I don't know if it was Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell's decision to run it, whatever. 3rd and 1. 3rd and goal from the 1. 3 timeouts, a minute left. You throw the ball. It's either incomplete or it's a touchdown. Anyway, the clock stops. You run the ball. You get it. It's fine. But if you don't get it, you have to burn a timeout. And now you're forced with a minute left and 2 timeouts to use an onside kick, which is, I don't know. I don't remember the last time I saw an onside kick recovered. It's basically near zero at this juncture in the NFL. So with a minute left and 3 timeouts, you still have to try the onside kick if you get a touchdown, but you have 3 times to stop it. You can get the ball back with 45 seconds or whatever. So running the ball there, he had to burn his timeout. He had to go from an onside now using the onside kick. That I think was my biggest problem.
When they used that timeout, it was a dead on thing that they had to get the onside kick, or else you were pretty much screwed. I also found out that the Lions kicker was 38% from past 40, which on that 4th and
No, he was.
Yeah, he was.
38% past 40. That's
38%. He only had like 6 games.
Yeah,
he rarely had any, but
because the other guy got injured, Riley Patterson.
Yeah. But on that 4th and 3 that I was talking about when they were down 3, it was 7 minutes left. I just found that out. It found out he was 38% from past 40, and it would have been a 47-yarder.
Yeah. And, guys miss kicks.
Makes sense that he didn't go for it, but also at the same time, no, if you didn't.
And we always see, I know ESPN has it, that little analytics box on the bottom left. Analytics say go for it. The numbers are like 51% go for it, 49%
Yeah.
So it's not like
just
it's a 90.
Barely go for it.
It's like barely go for it, but we're still going to clown you when you don't get it. And they love Dan Campbell because the stuff works.
Bite their kneecaps.
I thought it was hilarious. It was like 4th and 6 or something from like the Lions 45 or 50 or something. Dan Campbell loves his fake punts. The Niners came out with a base 4-3 defense. Yeah. They didn't have their punt team out. They had Fred Warner out there, Nick Bosa. They were not taking any chances on the punt, fake punt kind of. This is big for Detroit. Ben Johnson staying for the offensive coordinator spot. Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator, could go to the Washington Commanders.
With the Ravens, our offensive coordinator is going to... I just saw it.
Why would he leave anywhere?
No.
Okay, well,
or was our defense coordinator? One of those. I forget. He ended
Mike
up...
McDonald going to the Seahawks. We'll get
that.
into
There it is. That's who it was.
But Ben Johnson coming back, he was the most highly coveted head coach outside of Jim Harbaugh in the entire circuit of the NFL. He's coming back to Detroit. I think we see this a lot, or we don't see it a lot. We should. Coaches are too eager to get that promotion, get that head coach spot. Ben Johnson, he'll be as hot a candidate next year. But he's still offensive coordinator, improves his resume, more play calling. What if there's a more spicy team? What if the Chicago Bears, right, don't have a great year, fire Matt Eberflus, and Ben Johnson gets to work with Caleb Williams? Or something else. Some other coaches have fallouts. I think that's huge for Detroit and being able to bring this team back. Well,
huge.
Dan Campbell said, weird quote. I've never really seen him as a pessimistic guy.
I don't think we're gonna get here.
This may be our only shot. And I think I agree with him. Because too many times in the NFL, we look at teams at the optimistic view. Just think,
he's being realistic.
Yeah. But
which is something you don't see like anybody in the NFL.
We always see things as a chart that just goes up and up and up and up and up and doesn't stop. Right? It's not like a 2K or Madden. You get a 75 overall rookie, he goes up a couple every year, he gets to one point, and then he starts going down. You have ups, you have downs, you have ups, and you have downs. Take, for example, the Houston Texans from 2018. Young quarterback Deshaun Watson into the playoffs. Everybody would say, oh, for years to come, this team is a playoff contender. They trade DeAndre Hopkins. Bill Bryan gets fired. Deshaun Watson does some things with women. And
He wants some happy endings.
and they went into being awful for a couple of years. They get C.J. Stroud, right? Things can change everywhere in the NFL. We think right now the Houston Texans are going to be this juggernaut for years to come. We don't know. We don't really know, really. We thought a couple years ago Jacksonville would be the Super Bowl contender. They struggled this year, and they went 9-8, missed the playoffs. So with Ben Johnson, there's a lot to discover. He wants to bring it back with Detroit. I think that is huge for the Lions. What I did like for the Lions is we see this sometimes in other sports. A guy gets a big contract, they force it to use him. Dan Campbell didn't this year with Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams. There was a lot of chatter. You spent the 12th overall pick on Jahmyr Gibbs. Why not use him? You don't want to force a player into a game plan.
I almost feel like when they traded down for the 12th overall pick just to draft a running back.
They didn't trade down.
Yeah, they were like 9th or 10th or something like that.
Go
But
on.
I almost felt like you should have just traded up to get Bijan.
Jahmyr Gibbs is probably, I would say better, but it was a good pick.
Jahmyr Gibbs is a more elusive back. Well, Bijan is too.
Bijan's more elusive, I think.
Bijan's bigger.
We'll see what
He's bigger. He's gonna run through him. He's
Well-
like Derrick Henry, big strong man.
we will see how they get used, or how Bijan gets used, maybe a little bit more. But Jahmyr Gibbs,
Get Arthur Smith out
Jahmyr
of
Gibbs
there.
and
I'll
Jameson.
use Bijan more than that fat guy Arthur Smith or whatever he said in that
Jameson
quote. I'm
Williams.
gonna find that quote.
Jameson Williams or Jahmyr Gibbs, right? You don't have to force him into the game plan to justify your draft pick, right? You drafted him. His pick means nothing. You don't force him into the lineup. And when Jahmyr Gibbs played, he was great. When Jameson Williams played, he was great. Dan Campbell did not force them into the lineup. A little bit of a smaller story to talk about. I think this is huge for Houston. Bobby Slowick, their offensive coordinator, and their quarterback coach, Gerard Johnson, are staying with the Houston Texans. We see this a lot with a young quarterback. You want continuity. You want a group of guys that are going to stay together, the same guy you saw in the office last year. And Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator of the Texans, had a little bit of head coaching interest, but it kind of all got filled up. The big thing here, Gerard Johnson, quarterback coach of Houston, he could definitely get an offensive coordinator spot somewhere, right? Being the quarterback coach for the Houston Texans. He decided to stay. I think, one, it shows to the leadership of D'Amico Ryans and C.J. Stroud to where these guys are staying put and keeping with their young guy. Two, I think it sets up the Texans so well for the future.
What's the name of the head coach? What's the name of the Falcons head coach?
Raheem Morris.
Raheem. All right. Continue.
Raheem Morris did not say, I'm going to use him more than that fat guy. He did not say
Well,
that.
I'm gonna find it.
And if he did, I definitely would have heard about it. I bet $100 million he did not say, I'm going to use him more than that fat guy, Arthur Smith.
No, but I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it.
Let's talk about the Seahawks and the Commanders. I was going to bring into this segment. I was brainstorming yesterday. This is kind of a circus. Like
Can't find it.
Seattle and Washington, there was two teams with one head coach. Mike McDonald's going up to the Seahawks. Washington is left in a tough spot. Can you stop with the Diet Coke, please? Just stop. Please. Just stop.
Trying to condense it.
It's not funny. Mike McDonald goes to the Seahawks. Washington's in a tough spot because he can get Dan Quinn. But, like, do you really want Dan Quinn as your head coach? I don't. What direction do you see the Washington Commanders going? Is it a guy, Dan Quinn? Is it who else is there out there? Is it Vrabel? Is it
He won. Well, he's a good coach. It's just the team around him. I don't know.
It's interesting. I think
Mike
Seattle,
Vrabel wouldn't be bad for the Commanders, and then if you could bring Dan Quinn in for like a different spot, but I think he'll just stay with the Cowboys with their.
Dan Quinn would
defense.
not go to. He wouldn't downgrade teams. to be
Yeah,
their
that's what I
defense.
was just saying.
Yeah.
He'll just stay with the Cowboys.
It's either he goes to the Commanders or he stays in Dallas.
He's gonna stay in Dallas. He's
Maybe
not going
we'll have to
anywhere.
see how the Commanders work it out.
They'll hopefully get Mike Vrabel.
Jim Harbaugh starting to get a lot of traction out there in SoCal. The Chargers are looking fresh. They're looking different. And
No, still same roster. Still same BS every year. You're like, oh, I think they're a 10, 11 win team. Oh, 7 wins.
I'm going to do it again next year, too.
Barely make playoffs and get blown out.
Not barely make playoffs.
No, last year. Or 2 years ago.
They
When they made it
lost-
with the Jaguars and they got blown out, they had a 27-point lead.
They
and
lost by a point. Come on.
Yeah.
They did not get,
They had a 27-point
They
lead.
did
We're
not
going to
get blown
criticize them
out.
like you're criticizing the Lions all
they
the
did
time.
not get
So-
blown out. That's a stupid argument.
No, they blew a lead. They choked. That's what it is.
Good job. I'm going to fall into the trap again.
I think I will too. You look at their roster on paper, you're like, wow, they have a really good roster. Oh, can't do anything.
The
with
roster is too top-heavy. You need...
Their roster is way too much money. God.
It's so top-heavy, and it's like usually you
like
don't...
Keenan Allen's like a $60 million deal over like
Yeah.
4 years or something. It's like,
Usually you don't win with old, washed-up, big-name players.
yeah.
You
Get
need-
Keenan Allen out of there.
you
Get
need-
Mike Williams out of there. Get Khalil Mack.
We'll see-
He had a
we'll s-
one-season wonder last year.
We'll see how they approach it, but this team needs to be still have the stars. I think Eckler's gone, but have a built roster with good pieces. That it's not just, hey, we got great 5 first players and everybody else is not good. It needs to be, all right, we got 5 good players, and then the rest are comparable. And I think the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos are going to be very desperate because we saw this with the AFC East with the Patriots. These guys are pissed off at Kansas City just dominating the division. These guys are pissed that the Chiefs are now in their Super Bowl again. While they're sitting there, Chargers one playoff appearance in the last couple of years. Broncos haven't made it since 2015. Raiders haven't made it since 2021. These guys are mad. They want to get to it. I think the coaches they have in place, I have faith in Harbaugh. I have faith in Antonio Pierce. I don't know about Sean Payton. We'll see how that goes. Let's talk about NBA. We don't usually talk about it, but we're going to here today. Luka Doncic, 73 points against the Atlanta Hawks. It's great. It's fun. He's a fun player to watch, maybe the best player in the league. He'll never win a championship in Dallas with his current situation. 73 points. They win by 5 points.
Mhm.
What are we doing? They win by 5.
Wasting his talent.
Dallas used to have Jalen Brunson, and your stars need to combat each other well. Nuggets with Jamal Murray and Jokic. Jokic, great passer, works in the paint, okay? Murray, great catch and shoot guy, can shoot. They're different. Other type of guys combat each other real nicely. You can't, in the NBA, just have ball hog, hero ball scorers that don't play any defense. We've seen it before. The Brooklyn Nets, Harden, Kyrie, Durant, fell apart. The Phoenix Suns, right now, Booker, Durant, Beal, not doing too great. They acquired Kyrie Irving this last year in the last trade deadline. Has not worked out. Doesn't play a lot of games. You can't have 2 ball-dominant scorers that don't play any defense and expect it to work out. Dallas, of course, we all know I think we agree, they made a mistake not paying Jalen Brunson at all. 4 years, $100 million. They said, nah, he's going to New York. He's all NBA this year. So that's my 2 cents on Luka Doncic. Should we get into our mock draft here?
Sure.
We have a mock draft. It is almost draft season. We'll start to ramp up these drafts as we get closer to draft season, probably culminating the last episode before the draft with a full 32-team full final mock draft. But today's just going to be the top 10 picks, the big prospects, as we'll learn more about the other guys as we get into it. After that, we'll do a little bit of Super Bowl preview. I'll give my top 10 players in the Super Bowl. If you want to as well, you can. I know I didn't prepare you for that, but
Nope.
we'll do
I have a decent list.
we'll think about it. So,
I can probably do top 5.
at number 1 in the NFL draft, in Detroit, I think it's in Detroit, yeah. In Detroit, the number 1 pick, I think, is pretty clear. I think we're both going on what we think is going to happen, not what should happen.
Yeah.
So at number 1, clearly Caleb Williams. The Bears are going to take Caleb Williams. I was on the belief that they're going to trade and keep Justin Fields, but we see it. You can't really have a mediocre quarterback and win. You have a pristine 5-star right there waiting for you. It's going to be Caleb Williams, and then they're going to shop Justin Fields off somewhere else. They have the 9th pick in the draft as well to get a receiver, to get an offensive lineman. I think it is pretty clear Caleb Williams. What say you?
For me, I have the Patriots trading with the Bears.
Whoa.
I have Jared Mayo being really aggressive.
Gerard.
Gerard Mayo.
Jared.
Coming in as the coach, I feel like he'll make an aggressive approach to try and have 4 win, 5 wins, 6 wins maybe this season.
Wow, what an aggressive approach.
It's better than whatever he had.
My aggressive approach, guys. My goal is to win 4 games.
But
that's my aggressive approach.
Get your franchise quarterback. And
would they not get their franchise quarterback at pick 3? So he's just gonna.
Okay, well if the Bears take Caleb Williams and then the
Commanders take Drake May.
Yeah, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, whoever they want to take.
Oh, hello. You need to be.
Okay. Somebody just walked in here. But leaves you the question mark there. Caleb Williams, I feel like, will fill that position.
Keep talking.
But Caleb, I have the Patriots trading up. Caleb Williams goes to the Patriots. Chicago falls down to pick 3.
Okay.
And then whatever compensation they could get. For my number 2 spot, I have Washington still. No trades, no nothing there. I have them taking Drake May. Sam Howell was good, but not great. And I feel like Drake May could step in there with Terry McLaurin and whoever they could get over free agency, whoever they could pick up, whoever they can maybe draft later rounds. I feel like he can develop.
I think this whole Drake May, Sam Howell, I don't think it's a debate, but it comes back to what I said about Justin Fields. Teams nowadays, you can't really settle for mediocre. You have to, if there's a big fish on the market, you got to get the big fish. Drake May is the prototypical big, strong, can move, good arm, 6'5". He's everything.
It's like Justin Herbert.
Yeah, he's everything you want in a quarterback. I do have the Commanders taking Drake May as well. And then at number 3, I have been for the last couple of mock drafts that I've done, always had New England taking Jaden Daniels. Every time. But I think they're going to get themselves a bridge quarterback and potentially address other needs right now. There's other guys, Gardner Minshew, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins. There's bridge guys you can get that, Gardner Minshew, I don't know how expensive he would be, but you can have a bridge guy, see how he works out. Could be like a Baker Mayfield, like what they've done with him in Tampa. He comes in, not expected to do much, has a great breakout year. He's the QB of the future now for Tampa Bay. That's what I think New England's going to do, and I think the aura of the best player in the draft, Marvin Harrison Jr. to New England, get the premier guy, get the receiver that is going to be 10 years Pro Bowl, All-Pro every time, best receiver in the draft, best player in the draft, arguably. Make him your cornerstone piece. Get a quarterback to help him out. But I think at pick 3, New England, Marvin Harrison Jr.
For me, pick 3, Chicago. After they trade with New England, I feel like they get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
If they keep Justin Fields.
That's interesting.
For my pick for number 4, Arizona, you have a quarterback. Could draft O-line. You could get somebody else next to Paris Johnson on the other side. I have them taking Malik Neighbors.
Oh, that's high.
I have them.
That is
high.
high.
They need another. Well, I was thinking him or Romo Dunze.
Okay.
I was thinking one of them.
So
I'm
going
interested
with
here. Malik Neighbors.
With the 2 top receivers, like Malik Neighbors or Odunze, there's not like a clear guy that's better. They're kind of close. It's Marvin Harrison at the top, Odunze, Neighbors, and then whoever the hell else. Why would the Cardinals not consider trading down? There's a team looking for you. Jaden Daniels hasn't been picked yet.
True.
You have a QB needy team headed up.
I feel like if anything, they would trade down to 6, maybe with the Giants.
The Giants could take a QB.
Hey, I'm fine with that.
Giants could take a QB.
You know what? Sure. I'll do what you say. Arizona trading down to 6. Giants move up. Giants draft Jaden Daniels. There.
So you have the Cardinals at 6. Okay.
Yeah.
It was just a suggestion.
Well,
Okay.
we'll go with it.
At my pick 4, I think we've seen Kyler Murray have injuries a lot. He didn't play a lot this year. What's the best way to stop him from getting injury? Adding another receiver. No. getting the best,
Getting another tight end.
getting the best tackle in the draft, pro ready, Joe Alt. He is polished, ready to rock. Day one, put him out there. He's going to play every snap and be a pretty darn good left tackle or any type of tackle. I don't know, left tackle, right tackle. He's a tackle. So they get their cornerstone. They have Kyler. Let's protect him. It's fun that he runs around in circles for a while, but at the end of the day, you want him to be less hurt.
Remember 2 years ago, it was the Cardinals and the Raiders. That was up at your house, and the Cardinals were down by like 2 touchdowns, and Kyler Murray was running around for like 15 seconds in the backfield.
On the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, he started celebrating
like
like
30
5 yards from the goal line. He's holding the ball.
He's
out.
at the
like
7. He's
high-stepping.
He's 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
That was funny. At pick number 5, the LA Chargers, another trade down spot. I feel like they're drafting receivers and tight ends all the time and still need receivers and tight ends. But I'm going to go with Brock Bowers at pick 5. The Jim Harbaugh offense we've seen in Michigan with Jake Butt, with now Colston Loveland and Vernon Davis at San Francisco a while back. Tight end gets a lot of focus. And look, if it was me, I'd probably lean more defense. But hey, if you're going to allow 35, let's score 36, right? So get Justin Herbert, get whoever the hell you got at running back, get Keenan Allen, get Mike Williams, get the bum Quentin Johnston, get Brock Bowers. Just overload the offense. You can never have too many weapons. Brock Bowers at 5.
All right, my number 5, I have the Chargers there. Since Arizona traded down, I have the Chargers. Taking Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
I'm thinking something
No,
Chargers should
whoa.
do. They get rid of Keenan Allen.
Okay.
They get him away. You gain a whole bunch of salary cap trading him away. Mike Williams, I don't know what they do with him. He's mid at best.
I know that's
Quentin Johnston. Hopefully he isn't like what he just was this last year. Hopefully he can catch. Maybe do what a wide receiver's supposed to this upcoming season.
A lot of people are like, they get away from that pick because the Chargers have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, but Keenan Allen coming up to contract soon, Mike Williams contract soon. Like when the Cowboys a couple years ago took CeeDee Lamb, when they had Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, people were like, why you drafted a wide receiver 3? You see how quickly Cooper left and Gallup's not that good. CeeDee Lamb's the number 1. So that's not a bad pick. So you do have the Cardinals at pick 6.
Yes. Cardinals at pick 6 will take Romo Dunze.
Okay. Romo Dunze, no anything.
I already explained it with Malik Neighbors, and then they traded. They need a wide receiver. Their first wide receiver. If anything, their first receiving option is probably Trey McBride.
On the Cardinals? Yeah, he's good, though.
And I feel like you kind of need to add something there to help Kyler out. And I have them taking Romo Dunze, Malik Neighbors, whatever.
I love Romo Dunze. Spoiler alert, I don't have him in my top 10. But that's not because I don't love him. I think he has a case. Get your hands up, get your guns out. To be the best receiver in the draft.
No, Marvin Harrison.
To be the best receiver in the draft, I can see that. Just a polished deep ball threat in the short yardage. Catches everything coming his way. Great player. Anyway, my pick at number 6. I'm interested. I don't know, because I'm doing this and it makes sense for the team that's trading up, but the team that's trading down, I don't know if they would do this. But I have the Raiders trading up to pick 6, the Giants moving down to pick 13 or pick 12. I saw this. I'm gonna steal this. I saw it from a comment guy on YouTube, and I looked into it. It's true. Antonio Pierce coached Jaden Daniels at Arizona State. Jaden Daniels mentioned Antonio Pierce in his Heisman speech. Jaden Daniels was in the Raiders locker room on their Week 17 or 18 win. The connection is huge. And we look at Antonio Pierce. Young coaches want to make an impression early. Let's get our guy early. Aiden O'Connell's not it.
But when I said that with Jared Mayo, Gerard Mayo.
Does he have any connections with the guy?
No, but trying to make a good impression.
Yeah, but that's a little bit much. Trading them. We'll see. Antonio Pierce wants to get his guy. He's a culture guy. He wants to establish a culture. He wants to bring in a number 1 quarterback. I think the Raiders trade up and get Jaden Daniels. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Right.
Pick 7, Tennessee Titans. Interesting spot. I think they're going to sell in the offseason. Sell. Henry's gone. I think Jeffrey Simmons is gone. Guys are gone.
Just give him to the Eagles.
I think they're going to move on from all those guys. And this is another team. Tennessee is a team that always drafting offensive linemen, always needing offensive linemen. It's a never-ending cycle. Like, they drafted an
Peter
O-lineman last year.
Skoronsky's probably their best.
They drafted a guy a couple years ago. They've just been drafting O-linemen. I think they're going to draft another one in Olu Fashanu. Will Levis is crazy. This guy jumps, catches it, throws an interception, gets it on a fumble. If he doesn't already have a chronic case of CTE, he's going to. So let's not have him die by next season.
Like
get
Tua.
a cornerstone left tackle and protect Will Levis.
All right, for me with Tennessee, same thing with you. I have him in a weird spot, but I have him taking Brock Bowers.
Ooh, they have Chigakonku also.
He's falling. He's like an O-lineman. He'll block for you if you need. He is also a really good receiving threat. The Titans' best receiver is DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. He's 32 or something now. He's old. Treylon Burks is your next wide receiver option, and he's been mid at best.
That's a compliment.
Hasn't proved much at all.
That is a good compliment for Treylon Burks.
And then for me at 8 with Atlanta, I still haven't figured out who I think they're going to pick. I have it between two guys. I have them taking a quarterback. Desmond Ritter's not it.
Taylor Heineke.
So you have them going Jaden Daniels.
Bo Nix. No, Jaden Daniels I already had taken by the Giants. I have them going with Bo Nix or Michael Penix. I don't really know either. I think I either made a stupid choice in them choosing a quarterback, and I don't know. Weird situation with Atlanta.
Who are you picking?
I don't know. Bo Nix or
You got to pick one.
Michael Penix.
You can't just say
Probably go with Penix.
I don't know if Penix is going to be a first-round pick.
I could see that. I could see that.
Old injury problems.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. I don't realize either how much NFL teams value injury history.
Yeah.
Is so high. He's 24, 25. Like the hype was at its highest after he beat Texas, but like Michael Penix is weird. He could be like Malik Willis from a couple years ago. Like a couple days before the draft, people were saying, "Oh, Malik Willis, pick 5, pick 6." Goes pick 80 something.
That was like Will Levis.
Same thing with Will Levis. There were last year, if you remember, there was chatter that he's the number 1 pick in the draft. Because this one guy on the Reddit's like, I am friends with the blah 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 blah. Will Levis is going to Carolina. Went pick 33. That's what I think Michael Penix could be. He can be a top 10 pick. He can also be in the 50s. He's a wide range. All it takes is one team to like him, right? Like we have these projections. All it takes is one team. And that team for you is the Atlanta Falcons. I think they have more pressing needs.
But
the defensive line.
At the same time, Desmond Ridder was not anything. And then you started using Bijan, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London. They finally started utilizing Drake London and Kyle Pitts towards the back half of the season. And they started being really good. Now imagine if you have a decent quarterback. Yeah, granted, he's a rookie. Like you were saying, he's injury prone and all that, but I feel like he'd be a good fit.
I think you have the pieces in place. I think this is more of a veteran quarterback come in and play than develop a rookie.
True.
Because it's not like you draft a rookie. All right, let's figure out our wide receiver 1. Let's figure out our running back. They have it all figured out. They just need a quarterback to get him the ball. So I think it would be more of a Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Minshew, different type of quarterbacks. But it's not awful. I'm going to go, and they could still bring in Kirk Cousins and draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? That's definitely still a possibility.
Yeah, have him learn behind him.
Yeah. Teach him his ways, the Kirk Cousins ways. My pick at number 8, the Atlanta Falcons. Defensive pressure, they could not get any last year.
I was gonna go there too, but
non-existent. I'm gonna go Dallas Turner from Alabama.
Yeah.
Just prototypical edge. Gonna come in and get 5 to 7 sacks in his rookie year.
It's gonna be like Will Anderson. Well, Will Anderson had more, but
Will Anderson was amazing at.
I'd never heard of him. Everybody was no. You took that out of context. I never heard of him during the regular season of getting sacks. Like
at Alabama or at Texas?
Texas. On the Texas.
I was gonna say
just never heard of him getting sacks, and then next thing you know, he's ended up getting 8-9 sacks.
I was gonna say at Alabama he was.
Alabama, everybody knew who he was.
He should have won a Heisman when Bryce Young won it. I think that should have gone to Aiden Hutchinson. Sue me. Anyway, Pick number 9. The Chicago Bears have drafted their quarterback of the future in Caleb Williams. Let's get him a weapon. Let's get him Malik Neighbors. LSU. The problem with both the Dunze and Malik Neighbors, they play in a very QB pass offense friendly system, which I used to be like, oh, don't draft guys out of Oklahoma because they play in the Big 12 with no defense. Until like CeeDee Lamb had a great year, and so that's kind of been debunked.
Don't draft any Big 10 wide receivers because they only run the ball.
I think teams are going to be more in love with Malik Neighbors' ceiling. We see it way too much, not way too much, but we see it a lot in the NFL. Okay.
Okay. Time to brush your teeth or something?
No. Anyway, I think what was I going to say? The ceiling of a player is much more elusive for teams. I think Malik Neighbors has a higher ceiling. The final pick, at pick number 10, is the New York Football Jets in a really good spot because I think they're a Super Bowl contender next year, and they have the 10th overall pick in the draft. Mekhi Becton, in his experience, his experiment, awful. Allowed the most sacks in the league last year. He sucks. They're going to go get J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Big guy. Big guy can move out the left tackle spot. It's, when your expected star quarterback that's going to win you a Super Bowl is hurt in 4 plays, I think you got a value offensive line. Give me JC.
For my number 9 pick with Chicago,
you didn't even pick number 9?
No. You just went 8, 9, 10,
How'd you
and I was like, all right. So, but for my number 9 with Chicago, I had them drafting their wide receiver. They keep Justin Fields. I have them getting
another receiver.
Joe Alt to
Ooh.
protect for Justin
So
Fields.
they're all in on Justin Fields.
Yes. I
I
have
don't think
them
it's
going
going to
with
happen, but it's okay.
that. My number 10 with the Jets, exactly like you were saying. Me and you are on the exact same page with the Jets.
Fashanu?
Yes, Olu Fashanu.
Okay.
Like you were saying with J.C. Latham, I have him falling, though, a little bit farther.
Okay, that's fine.
A lot of teams don't need O-line. Well, some do, some
Everybody
don't.
needs O-line.
Yeah, but there's more important positions that they need, like corners, linebackers. Actually, linebackers there's not that many good linebackers in this draft.
It's not that important.
It's really like linebackers who are edge rushers. It's not even like
position nowadays. Like safeties,
no, like a lot of teams need linebackers, but
safety's
they're just
not that
not
important.
popping up.
Safety is not an important position. So that's our top 10. Let's get into this little Super Bowl prediction, little Super Bowl preview. It's the Chiefs, it's the Niners. A lot of people on social media saying, why this is the worst Super Bowl we can get.
Yeah,
you're just not a football fan. You're not.
I would have rather this than the Ravens. Well, I mean, I would have wanted the Ravens to make it, but I would have preferred this as the best thing because this is a rematch of 3 years ago in Super Bowl 54 or something. And this is the 2 best teams in the NFL.
Yeah, maybe the Ravens, but the Chiefs. Yeah.
But the 49ers were projected to go to the Super Bowl beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles and 49ers were projected to be in the NFC Championship again. Well, Eagles shit the bed.
And the AFC was like Bills, Chiefs, Bengals.
Yeah. Well, Bengals were immediately out after Joe Burrow got hurt. Yeah. And then it was the Ravens, Bills, and Chiefs. And then Bills ended up falling off, and then they ended up coming back, lost. Mm-hmm. If it came down to the Ravens and Chiefs, it would have been either one of those making it to the Super Bowl would have been fine. Fuck the Ravens. God damn, you guys are fucking shit. Chiefs making it in. Chiefs 49ers, really good Super Bowl. Like I said, rematch. It's going to be a...
I guess from the narrative, it's not that great of a Super Bowl, but just matchup. Like, oh my God.
This is like the 2 best teams with talent with, Patrick Mahomes makes do with what he has. So
the Chiefs are really built well. Like Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel versus L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie. What a matchup. Mahomes versus that great San Francisco D-line. How many times can Juwan Taylor false start now? So let's get into it. I don't know what I think. What do I think? San Francisco, again, just like from 2020? Yeah, February 2020. They are the better team. They have the best roster in the NFL. Pretty by a lot, I think.
Yeah. Most expensive.
But,
ooh, that's going to be a problem. Oh, wait, never mind, because salary cap doesn't exist anymore.
But these whole playoffs, you can think of all these stats, and we're going to dive into it a lot next week with our Super Bowl episode. We'll talk about it for an hour. But all
Pauses
these
again.
all these stats. Who's got the better line? D-line, coach, blah, 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 blah. First off, this is going to be, Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan are the two best coaches in the league. These are just juggernauts going at each other. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, do you have 15 on your team? And if you don't, it has not gone well for you in the playoffs. I don't know if it's going to go well for you in the Super Bowl. I think the key in this game is when you have Patrick Mahomes on your team and you pride yourself on defense, it kind of gets, I wouldn't say thrown out the window, but kind of more to the middle. That you can play great defense and you can run around for 10 seconds and throw the ball to Kelsey in the middle of the field. When Kansas City, they have a great defense as well. But I don't think San Francisco has a player that is just a take over the game type of player. Maybe McCaffrey, but not on Mahomes' level. Your thoughts on the big game in Las Vegas?
49ers, I have winning it.
Let's calm down. We got a whole episode next week.
All right.
I mean, that's
But
the Super Bowl.
49ers, great defense. I feel like their defense will
Not as good as Kansas City's. Go on.
Yeah, but I feel like their defense will do better, hopefully, than what the Ravens did. I feel like they'll have a lot different of a scheme on defense with Mahomes. Containing, QB spies, more pressure. I feel like they'll have Fred Warner almost all the time guarding Travis Kelce. Almost.
How good's Roquan Smith been this year? Amazing. Who is his assignment for most of the time? Kelsey.
No, it was Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah. Okay. At the deeper plays. Kyle
No,
Hamilton.
almost all the time. You saw any play, it was Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton, All-Pro first team, great player, maybe the best safety in the league. How'd he do on Kelsey?
He was not good with
You know?
coverage. We should not have put him in coverage. It was.
Sometimes throws are just perfect, and that's all it comes down
No,
to.
Kyle Hamilton was burnt on almost every pass except that touchdown pass. That was a good back
Yeah.
shoulder. That one
You
was
can't.
good.
Nobody's defending that.
But it was just like
I don't know how. Your thing's going to go. I'm going to do top 10 players in the Super Bowl.
I'll do top 5. That's
Top
all I
five,
can really
okay.
do.
I did a TikTok on this. TikTok talking about balls. I'm the talking about balls
Dude
man.
is-
He's the talking
dude-
about
dude
balls
is
man.
plugging already.
Top 10 players in the Super Bowl.
You go to Raid Shadow Legends. Free advertisement. Guys, never
This
go
is
to
such a
Raid
tough-
Shadow Legends.
this-
Don't.
This was like last year's Super Bowl. These teams are just stacked. Kansas City, we don't think of them as stacked because they don't have receiving options, but everywhere else, stacked. Top 10 players in the Super Bowl. My number 10, it seems like how's this guy number 10? But you look at the other guys, it's Brock Purdy at number 10.
I didn't even think you'd have him there.
Hey, I'll get into the other guys, and we'll see how it changes.
Just continue. Just do 10-9.
Brandon Ayuk at number 9.
Okay.
Best receiver on San Francisco, leads him in everything. He's taken over the Debo role. Creed Humphrey at 8. Just bulldozes. I love Creed Humphrey. I don't know why.
Creed Humphreys, big country. Yeah.
L'Jarius Sneed, number 7.
All right.
Lockdown corner. And number 6, Nick Bosa.
6 Nick.
Number 6, Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
He'll have to figure out what side of Mahomes to sack. But when he does,
Mahomes is part African American, guys. I just want to let you know.
all right. Top 5. Number 5, Fred Warner. I think we got to start talking about Fred Warner and the Bobby Wagner, Luke Kuechly discussion. Not yet, but if he wins the Super Bowl, all pro level every year, Fred Warner, number 5. Number 4, Trent McDuffie. I'm a big Trent McDuffie guy. And I think he's better than Fred Warner. This is not the most impactful, but just who's the best in this game. Number 3, Christian McCaffrey. Offensive Player of the Year, either him or Tyreek. Number 2, Trent Williams. Best offensive lineman in the league. And number 1, Mahomes. Thoughts on that list in the top 10?
Pretty good.
Your top 5?
Some people I thought you were missing there, but
Your top 5, sir?
number 5, I have Travis Kelce.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you completely
Oh,
forgot about him. I thought you had him at 2. You said fucking Trent Williams. I was like, what? Number 5.
Oh, no, that's
yeah,
awful.
Oh my God, you completely forgot about him.
That's why Maximiliano said blocked.
Yeah. You didn't have Travis Kelce in your top 10 on your TikTok either?
No, I forgot it. I forgot him. Calm down.
Oh my God. Hold on, I have to think about this what I was doing.
There's so many good guys.
What was it?
Damn, I'm an idiot.
Oh, okay. Number 4, I have George Kittle.
Okay. I wouldn't put him in the top 10.
Number 3, I have CMC.
You're such a no ball knower. You're just picking skill guys.
Yeah, duh. Number 2, I had Nick Bosa.
No Trent Williams is crazy.
Yeah, no. And then number 1, I had Patrick
Crazy.
Mahomes.
Crazy.
You didn't even have.
I'm
you
going
didn't have-
crazy.
You didn't have Travis
Because
Kelce in
I
the top
messed
10
it.
at all.
I missed it, and that's my mistake.
Oh, I forgot.
I would
about-
put Travis Kelce.
I forgot about Trent Williams. Then my bad. Sorry.
In that
No, I don't care.
in that new order, I'd put Kelsey at
Trent
7.
Williams gets so much hype.
I'd put Travis Kelce at 7. So the Pro Bowl, who cares? Skill Showdown tomorrow. That should be fun.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's a Pro Bowl. Who's watching?
The Skill Showdown's fun.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Kind of fun.
Mid.
It's
Mid.
as we hit the hour mark here on Talking About Balls. That's going to do it next week. Super Bowl and then off-season talk. We'll get in a couple episodes recapping
Free
the entirety
agency.
of the NFL season, free agency, and then it's almost March. The ball is tipped, and there
March
you are.
Madness. And
March
then we, And then we
Madness.
get the UFL. Actually, no, that's at the end of March.
The USFL. It's just getting started here. The last game of the Super Bowl. Last game next week. We'll have a full episode on that. Super Bowl episode. This has been Talking About Balls. I'm Mason. He's Wayne. We're done.